A very good evening and a warm welcome to our second edition of UBC News Tonight on this 20th day of November 2021. Now, before we delve into tonight's bulletin, let's first take a look at tonight's headlines.
Brought to you by
How to get points. Just use MTN to make calls, send SMS, load airtime, buy bundles, or pay for MTN subscription services.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Tariffs. UPDF hints on accessing ADF hideouts. Sorority Hospital doctors puzzled by a rise in fistula cases. And new penicillin clinical trials can slow down painful heart disease, experts say. Good evening once again and welcome to our second edition of UBC News Tonight. I'm Lauryne Kazimoto. In our first headlining story, President Yoweri Museveni has explained that suspected ADF collaborators killed by security after the attack of General Edward Katumba Wamala are not as innocent as some people are trying to imagine. The president says 12 of the collaborators have been killed and 106 arrested. The president also says A1 Ubaida bin Bukenya, the mastermind of some of the murders, is still elusive but is being sought for. President Museveni, who was addressing the nation on the situation of COVID-19 in the country, security, among other issues, also said all learning institutions and the economy should be opened by January 2022. In the same address to the nation aired by Uganda Broadcasting Corporation and other leading media platforms in the country, the president directed all persons above the age of 18 to be vaccinated against COVID-19.
We have got enough vaccines, therefore, the task is to make all adults above the age of 18 years to come out and be vaccinated. In the past, because the vaccines were not enough, we were targeting vaccinating the 4.8 million. You remember that number. I directed the RDCs, the district medical officers, the chief administrative officer and the Gombora chiefs, through the radios and through the couriers, to ensure that all people of 18 years and above go to the health center 3s and be vaccinated when the vaccines are available. The vaccines are there in the country, but we want to be sure that they are also at the sub-county. Yeah. What I'm saying is that the vaccines are in the country. They may be in Kampala, but not in Semuto or Ngoma or Bukwiri and Kyankwanzi. The schools and the whole economy will be open in January 2022, whether some people are vaccinated or not. The Wanyankole say, that once you prearrange with somebody to go on a journey, you don't shout out the following morning, oh, we go, the time is done. No, we have already agreed. So the agreement is that the vaccines are now here. Please go and be vaccinated. If you don't go, we shall open the economy all the same. We shall open. And if you get into problems, don't say the government did not tell me. I would also like to use this occasion to talk again to the Ugandans about the battle against crime and terrorism. You remember that we are also going to digitally equip all vehicles and all pikipikis a device which somebody cannot remove, so that and which will be able to tell us which vehicle was here and there at a particular time. That one is already being worked on. My advice to all of them, these still hiding here in Kenya, Tanzania, Mozambique, Congo, or South Africa, to surrender and save themselves. Of course, they will be prosecuted, but if they do not come out, they will all die. In the meantime, the public should be vigilant. Until all of them are arrested, they will continue to pose a short-term danger if we are not vigilant. However, our infrastructure is already helping. You can now watch how our infrastructure captured the bombers on Tuesday. If the people have that.
The president there addressing the nation in matters security, COVID-19, economy, and a lot more. Now, in more news, the Prime Minister Robina Nabanja has toured Buyikwe Industrial Park in Buyikwe District that is expected to host close to 100 factories. The park was inaugurated by President Yoweri Museveni on the 7th of May 2019. Premier Robina Nabanja was informed by some investors that high electricity tariffs have hindered fast production. Take a look.
Paid a courtesy working visit to Buyikwe Industrial Park at Buwampa in Buyikwe District. The park was inaugurated by President Yoweri Museveni on 7th May 2019 and is expected to create jobs for several youth. Currently, there's a tire cycling factory, a steel and iron bar rolling factory, and a pesticide processing factory, among others. The Premier toured all the 10 factories to see how the factories can start full production. Prime Minister Nabanja asked one of her staff to sit on a wheelbarrow that she pushed with the aim of ensuring that goods produced are of high standards. Later, a meeting was held with the community leadership and the investors to draw strategies how best they can move. Investors told the Prime Minister that high electricity tariffs have hindered their production, something that might cause high pricing of final products.
The President directed me to come here to see that the electric tariff, because currently they are paying 9 cents. And during peak hours they pay 13, 14 cents. And that is a lot of money, US dollars. That's a lot of money we want to have, and because of that they claim, or they say, their cost of production is high. And we want to reduce on the cost of production so that they can export to the neighboring countries, especially the East African market, and of course COMESA.
Meanwhile, the area leadership also disclosed to Premier Nabanja that youth working in these factories are earning 6,000 shillings per day, with some working without protective gears.
Okusomoza kwe tulina olwaleero nti abakozi bakyafuna akasente katono nnyo kubanga olunaku casual labor mwasinyisi kakaaga, olaba nga ezo sente ntono nnyo okuyimirizawo omuntu alina amakaage.
Abakozi kye batukaba era kye batutawanyizaamu ffe nga LCs ba leaders baabwe batutawanya kintu kimu. Wali factory emu etutawanyiza nnyo namba 23 ekola footwear. Factory eyo sente eri ku mitwalo 15 ate nga bw'omanyi nti mitwalo 15 sawa tekyakola bulungi omulimu okusomesa kuliisa kukola.
Right Honorable Prime Minister, ekizibu ekirala kye tulina y'ensasula embi era ne conditions ezitali nnungi mu bifo ebimu abaana baffe mwe bakolera.
I know this is something that will be realized because at the moment
Members of Parliament asked the Premier to remind the President about his pledges of construction of high-quality markets in Buyukwe and also improving road infrastructure.
Yensonga y'amakubo meya ajogeddeko tulina amakubo mangi nnyo agagenda mu industries ez'enjawulo naye amakubo ago gali mu Sorry State.
Tumanyi nga Nyenga division nga sub county eno, most of the land is public land. Osanga abantu nga ina land title nga kolako ebyapa ate nga waliwo ba squatters ab'ebibanja.
Public land abavunaanyizibwako ba district, si central government, and therefore land board ebyebuyikwe ebyetya
bafunako minister n'abakooba yajja mu kitundu kino n'agigala for 2 weeks.
Later, the Premier visited Lugazi Market, where she also addressed the market vendors.
Ensonga esemberayo ddala etuleese wano y'ensonga y'akatale, era twagala okubeegayirira muwulirize bulungi Right Honourable Prime Minister kuba ono waali kitegeeza gavumenti yonna eri luddawa eri wano. Kakati ekyo ekyapa ekyakatale eno ng'oba yali public land, obuyinza obukasazaamu weebuli. Kitegeeza nti land board eyaliwo yali nfunyo abantu abataagaliza bantu.
Reporting for UBC TV, Helen Barbara, Gizamba.
Uganda People's Defense Forces is seeking to access Democratic Republic of Congo to clear the region of allied democratic forces. The quest follows recent bomb attacks in Kampala that saw some people killed and several others injured. UPDF spokesperson Brigadier Flavia Wiekwaso says given chance, ADF can be defeated the same way they were defeated more than 10 years ago.
Intelligence is being gathered.
Over time, the forces have built capacity.
Some arrests have been made.
We have so many leads which I cannot talk about here.
And some alleged violent suspects have been put out of action.
It's not that it is our culture now to shoot, but it is under those circumstances.
Remnants of the allied democratic forces have been zeroed on those behind the recent terror attacks in Kampala. It should be recalled that the last time they were active in Uganda, they were badly defeated.
The last time the ADF were here was in 2007. They came 100 of them. Within 2 weeks, only 13 went back. The 87 remained here in a lying position.
Despite being outside Uganda, they are reported to have successfully recruited locally, something attributed to links with groups that share similar ideologies.
In security, we call it fighting an asymmetrical enemy. This enemy, asymmetrical in a way that is not going to come in front of you and attack you and fight you. He's very invisible. He's mixed within the public. He lives within among us. Sometimes you may not even be able to actually tell that until something happens, because we have apprehended people and someone said, hey, you mean that person, I was talking to that person, you mean that person is a terrorist?
The fact that they were forced back to the neighboring Democratic Republic of Congo makes it necessary for Ugandan troops to access their hideout. With this, the UPDF seeks to prevent them from not just attacking Uganda, but any other country in Africa and beyond.
But what is keeping us, actually, I would say that what is keeping us from stamping this out from Uganda completely, and also is the problem of the neighborhood. The problem of the neighborhood over which we do not have authority. And if we had been given a chance to deal with it by now, this problem would not have come.
The capacity may have been built, to fight acts of terror. But what explains the shooting of terror suspects?
Where a security personnel goes to someone, they'll leave whatever they are doing and put their hands up. Because one of the reasons why is the moment you do not do that, it will be read or it will be interpreted that you want to fight. This person has come to arrest you. And what that person is supposed to come to arrest you is they will shoot you.
Uganda recently suffered attacks from terrorists, an act claimed by the Islamic State and also linked to the ADF. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Now, the authorities of Terewode Women's Community Hospital in Soroti have raised concern over the rising cases of obstetric fistula in their facility among young mothers. The facility has registered most of the cases who are young girls aged 18 and below, and it has been partially attributed due to the impact of the lockdown.
Terewode Women's Community Hospital in Soroti is burdened with the treatment of obstetric fistula that often occurs when women are neglected during labor.
The main condition we treat at the hospital is obstetric fistula, which usually is an adverse effect of neglected labor. And the patients usually present to us with urinary leakage after delivery. This usually occurs either immediately or a few weeks after delivery.
This is the condition that prompted government, together with the development partners, to establish Terewode Women's Community Hospital in Soroti to repair the urinary linkages.
Terewode has existed now for 20 years, campaigning against obstetric fistula and improving maternal health. And 2 years ago, we opened up Terewode Women's Community Hospital, which is dedicated in providing obstetric fistula care and in a holistic way.
However, the facility is overwhelmed with obstetric fistula cases registered among the young mothers of 18 years below.
And we are seeing a trend of increasing fistula cases amongst the young, that is women below 18 years. This may be attributed due to the lockdown when schools have been closed, but we are seeing a rise in teenage mothers with obstetric fistula.
The report by Terewode has indicated the traumatizing challenges faced by the fistula victims in the community.
And some of them fear the stigma that's associated with utilization of family planning services, especially given their young age. Most of them, from the study findings, are still living with parents, desiring to live with their parents, desiring to be loved once again by their parents. Others are struggling, constantly working to reunite with the men, their partners, the men who made them, who impregnated them. They still want to live with them. They want to stay in those marriages, for some of them. But how are they going to reunite if we do not integrate extensive health education?
Terewode registers more than 300 cases of obstetric fistula, which they say it should be brought to the government's attention before the situation worsens. Okow Joseph compiled the story.
Penicillin has been proved to slow down the devastating impact of rheumatic heart disease in children. The director, Uganda Heart Institute, Dr. John Omagino, disclosed the new scientific development at the launch of the goal study conducted by the institute in the northern Ugandan region.
Rheumatic heart disease is an irreversible heart damage caused by poorly treated or repeated infections from Streptococcus bacteria, also known as sore throat. According to heart experts, over 40 million people, especially children, live with this disease, but hardly notice, hence accounting for over 300,000 deaths annually. According to the goal study by the Uganda Heart Institute, clinical trials show that early detection of rheumatic heart disease and treatment with penicillin can prevent it from progressing and causing more damage to the heart as opposed to valve repair or replacement in the final stages.
Study whereby it is proved and were proved for the first time world over that penicillin slows the devastating impacts of rheumatic heart disease in the children from the Ugandan population. These findings address an acquired heart disease.
Having a sore throat, joint pain, rheumatic fever, among others, are some of the initial signs of rheumatic heart disease. According to Dr. Jocelyn Rebembera, one will hardly notice if they have the rheumatic heart disease unless clinical trials are carried out.
By a fever, so the temperature is high, joint pains, which are migratory, right now at midday the child says my knee joint is paining. By 2 p.m. it's the ankle joint which is paining. Now unfortunately this febrile illness is often misdiagnosed as malaria, not knowing that it is acute rheumatic fever, and that would be an opportunity if a correct diagnosis is made.
According to Dr. Peter Lwabi, people should shun from poor health styles, which include poor eating habits, excessive consumption of alcohol, smoking among others, and resort to exercise, which cardiologists say is the only way to keep the heart healthy.
People are eating more refined foods, a lot of sugar, a lot of saturated fat. People exercise less, and therefore they are prone to obesity. Smoking, which is a very bad habit, is known to affect the heart, the lungs, and cause cancers and many other problems. And then the excessive consumption of alcohol.
According to the Commission on Non-Communicable Diseases from the Ministry of Health, Dr. Charles Okia Oyo, policies should be put in place to implement these findings for consideration.
That, administration of penicillin G, can prevent or offers much more benefit in changing the progression of the disease. Then I think based on the recommendation, I'm yet to see the findings. If we are saying yes, let's take this now as a country. We adopt this as our policy, recommendation. It will be done.
Dr. Craig Sebo, one of the lead sponsors of this clinical trial, says they are determined to train medics to carry on this program to the rest of Uganda and other African countries.
Children, and how do we expand them to the 20 million children in Uganda and then the hundreds of millions of children in Africa? And I look forward to sharing our brief with the Ministry of Health to come up with a roadmap to give this disease the investment it deserves for pennies a month of penicillin and an inexpensive ultrasound machine that we know we can train many healthcare workers to use. So,
I am Mary Namkose for UBC News.
Civil society organizations are demanding for accountability on the money given to government entities against the fight against corruption. In the accountability to be demanded is how COVID-19 funds allocated in fighting the COVID-19 to government agencies were used. This was communicated by civil society organizations during a presser in Kampala as we wait to commemorate the International Anti-Corruption Day on the 9th of December.
It is alleged that Uganda loses billions of shillings through corruption by some officials. This was disclosed by some members of the civil society during the launch of activities leading to the International Anti-Corruption Day celebrated every 9th December.
These include select district integrity promotion forum meetings, community outreaches in partnership with the Inspectorate of Government to build consciousness on rights and responsibilities. We have an anti-corruption convention planned, televised citizen debates and parliament as well, social media campaigns and talk shows at regional, national levels calling upon citizens to demand for improved services from their elected and appointed leaders.
According to the civil society organizations, some leaders have failed to play their role in the fight against corruption.
We know that corruption compromises the quality of public services, including health care, education, public works, among others. We see that evidence exists of extensive grand corruption. We've seen grand and political corruption and impunity involving loss of colossal sums of taxpayers' money.
Civil society organizations want all citizens to demand for accountability, especially the money allocated to government institutions and ministries in fighting COVID-19.
The procurements that were done during the COVID-19 period left a lot to be desired. We see there were inflated prices, 100% payments before even services could be delivered, and later we saw services delivered that were so poor.
It is against this backdrop that Ugandans have been urged to join the fight against corruption.
The missing link is citizens to walk into the office of the Auditor General and say, I want to see the reports of audits that they have done, which in most cases actually confirms whether there has been misuse of funds or not. The Office of the Auditor General is a public institution.
The activities leading to the commemoration of the International Anti-Corruption Day have been launched by civil society organizations. The activities are to be held under the theme, Promoting Active Citizen Participation in Social Accountability. Natong Rebecca, Namamonde Deborah, UBC News.
Now, Luweero District Leadership has completed a one-day leaders stakeholders meeting that focused on a post-mortem of the post-electoral period. The meeting at Naiga Hotel in Kasana Town was facilitated by Community Development and Child Welfare Initiatives, CODI.
Unfair electoral laws that don't favor all involved have been cited and advised to be amended in order for Uganda to witness free and fair elections next time out.
I also urge the government, for our people, very many people are in the prison now. They were arrested because of political reasons. We beg the government to release these people. As you tell us to build the country together, let them come back to us, because some of them, they are not criminals.
This was during a one-day leadership meeting of concerned parties in Luweero District that also discussed the current security situation in the country. The leadership meeting was facilitated by Community Development and Child Welfare Initiatives, CODI.
The civil societies come in just to help. It is very important for the whole country to go back after elections, prepare the people, the mind, the people, the mindset, the negativity of some people that their leaders didn't go through, accept the leaders that are in leadership to give services. Because the leader is supposed to be one at a time.
The meeting was attended by several local council leaders from the Greater Luweero region.
Now, Mccarran University has scooped the top position in artificial intelligence application competition codenamed Africa Artificial Intelligence and the Internet of Things Challenge in Uganda. Kabale and Busitema University were the first and second runners-up, respectively, in the undergraduate project.
Mccarran University has won this year's graduate project for African Artificial Intelligence and the Internet of Things Challenge competition, with Kabale and Busitema University in second and third position. While for the startup projects, Smart and Affordable Lithium Battery emerged the winners, with early pest detection and COVID-19 SOPs adherence system in second and third position respectively.
So we kept on doing selections until we came up with 3 graduate projects of students who have just finished campus, and then 8 startup projects. Those have been assessed today, and the 3 graduate projects qualified to go to Dubai. The best is from Mccarran University. The second best is from Kabale University, and the last one is from Busitema University. Those 3 are going.
We participated in this competition of Internet of Things and Artificial Intelligence, and we are really proud that we are the winners, and we have brought it back home again. Mccarran University, we continue shining, and we are heading to Dubai for Africa and competitions.
And today we presented our technology at the African Ai and Iot Challenge, and we're very happy that we were selected as winners in our category.
The Permanent Secretary Minister of ICT and National Guidance, Amina Zawede, officiated the event and highlighted on the importance of investing in artificial intelligence in curbing criminal activities.
But to hear that we have our very own Ugandans or people within this country trying to come up with solutions to address our own challenges implies that these solutions are indeed feasible, realistic, and we are sure will take the test of time, because we are now moving away from getting foreign solutions to solve our problems, but now having solutions that are homegrown. But there is more to that. We need systems that can be able to detect. We need systems that can be able to sense before the actual, incident happens. And the only way we can do that is through these fourth industrial revolution technologies that include artificial intelligence, that include use of robotics.
The African Artificial Intelligence and the Internet of Things Challenge competition winners are to represent Uganda at the continent level in Dubai towards the end of the year. They will have a chance to meet the world's richest men under the Institute of Electrical and Electrical Engineering.
Because here now, once you win here, then you are given an air ticket, full board accommodation, in Dubai for 4 days, and then you come back. But when in Dubai, you'll be given people who can talk to you, who can mentor you. You'll get exposed. There is a worldwide conference of Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, what we call IEEE.
Sada Mubale, UBC News, Kampala.
Over 600 persons this Friday evening gathered at Sister Mariam Dugan Primary School in Kamocha for diabetes, blood pressure and weight caution courtesy of Lions Club Kampala. Diabetes is a lifestyle disease that can be prevented through early diagnosis, exercise and having a good diet.
The Lions Club Kampala has organized several health camps in Kampala Metropolitan as part of its Diabetes Week commemoration. Friday evening, Lions Club members gathered at Sister Mariam Dungan Primary School in Kamocha to offer support to patients in need of basic help. The camp that offered free service with support from Lions Club International was boosted by the presence of medical experts from Christian Caring Center and Health 24 Lifeline International Hospital. A member of Lions Club of Kampala Central, Israel Manzi, explained that the Lions Club is facilitating diabetes awareness and prevention across the country through medical camps.
We've worked on about 600 people since morning. The turn-up has been high. We have actually been constrained by curfew and we are winding up, but there is a need. People are in need. These services have been free, courtesy of Lions Club's International Foundation, which catered for all the logistics required to run this camp, as you saw. And we appreciate all clubs in Uganda because various clubs are running this program of diabetes, testing people, making them aware of the disease, and this being an International Awareness Week, clubs all over the country are doing the same.
A volunteer with Lions Club International, Nwagaba Job, encourages youth to always go for checkups and eat well to avoid being affected by diseases.
You should always be active and mind the kinds of food you take. And if you dare take the foods that are actually so much high in calories and stuff like that would bring about diabetes, you mind the quantity and quality you take. So that would help you in regulating the blood sugars.
Basigale nga bakolagana wamu ne Kamocha aba Lions tusigale okulaba nga tuyamba tusobola okulaba nga tuyamba ensi yaffe n'abantu awamu okumanya engeri gye balina okubeerawo n'obulwadde obwo, engeri gye balina okwekebezaamu n'okutambula awamu nga balamu.
Vincent Wamundu compiled this report.
Wanale Cliff is one of the most spectacular features and the unofficial signpost for Mbale City. To access Wanale, there is some trekking through the woods, climbing cliffs, crossing streams and walking through the frosty forest before reaching Kawuku Cave, the center of Wanale Hill. Mount Elgin Tourism Network is leading the initiative aimed at showcasing Elgin region's beauty to nature lovers. Take a look.
Wanale Ridge is the most significant feature that stands out as one approaches Mbale within a 25-kilometer radius of the city at the foothills of Mount Elgon. The Hanging Rock on Wanale Ridge is an iconic attraction to residents and visitors alike that ply Mbale city. In fact, many think Wanale is the Mount Elgon. But what the eyes may not see from far are the caves and water streams that throbs in the thickets of Wanale Ridge. At the center of this Wanale Ridge is Kauka Cave, the heart of Wanale Ridge, believed to be the home of Mama Saba spirits.
So we are entering Kauka Cave. Kauka A.
Now we're in Mount Elgon. Wanale, Mount Elgon, Wanale Station. Wanale Station is part of Mount Elgon.
Now, Mount Elgon Tourism Network wants to promote Kauka Cave as a major tourism attraction.
But though we don't have the sufficient funds, we can have other ways of helping promote this tourism. For example, office space can be provided at different offices within the district. Also, access roads to those tourist sites, and also encouraging the local people to appreciate the concept of tourism so that they can also be part of the system by providing.
The cave can only be accessed by scaling ladders, and a rare cool breeze is the comforting welcome one gets on entry. But beyond the ridges, caves and rivers, scaling the entire Elgon Peak is another adventure to behold.
Elgon Region Tourism Network is going to help us to bring different stakeholders, partners on board as regarding tourism development in the region. Tourism has been going on for long in the region, but at a low pace and undeveloped. And because of that, it has not attracted as many tourists as it should be. Both local tourists.
Uganda's second highest and largest peak after Mount Rwenzori is a popular destination for hikers.
They sleep in our hotels, they eat, and we get money. And they will promote even our name as Uganda. They will promote it outside the country. They will know that there is peace in Uganda. And we are happy to have our president who is so good.
Culture tourism is probably the biggest tourism attraction in the entire Bugisu sub-region. Bomutoto Cultural Site is where the Bagisu perform the male circumcision rite of passage that attracts thousands of people every even year. Imbal dance is another cultural performance that attracts the high and the modest, the shy and the bold, especially during circumcision season, a culture the Bagisu pride in. The bamboo shoots, locally known as kamalea, is a local delicacy in Bugisu that any tourist would love to taste as part of the appreciation of the beauty of the Bamasaba land. Kamalea can only be found here in Bugisu.
People to partner with us so that we build the museum. This museum, as I said, the artistic impression is being done. Actually, it is.
Leaders in the Bugisu sub-region are now more determined than ever before to promote tourism in this area, more famous for circumcision.
We believe that this is one way of helping our people come out of poverty, because tourism brings in income, it brings in foreign exchange, it expands market for our products, and also creates employment for the youth. So we believe that this is a wonderful idea and we will welcome it.
Mtoni Hilda and Deo Habimana, UBC.
Well, Mbale City is definitely going to be on my bucket list come 2022 for my vacation. But moving on, leaders from Lango sub-region want government to decommission all the water points which were drilled during the LRA insurgency in the region. The chairpersons are concerned that these boreholes increase the statistics of water points constructed in the region, yet they are not functionable.
This open well in Lira district is where the community of Tekulu village, a little sub-county in Kwale district, is drawing water for home consumption. This is both risky and unsafe because they have to cross this broken bridge to access the well. Lugino Okal is the village chairperson and says the well is serving over 6 villages and is being shared with animals. In Dokolo district, after flash floods submerged several boreholes, this pond is the spot where the community of Akureloba A in Kwera sub-county is drawing water for consumption. Over 56 villages in Dokolo district, 77 in Aleptong, 78 in Lira, and 128 in Kwale district lack boreholes. During a meeting organized by SNV in Lira city, leaders called for immediate intervention and want government to decommission all non-functional boreholes which were constructed during LRA war but are reflected in the region's data.
If you look at the statistics, it is showing that about 80-something% of water coverage, and yet those boreholes were captured during the NRA insurgency and were put in the camps. After the camps were dissolved, some of those water points have been abandoned, and none of them is working. We must make our system transparent and supportive to the community.
Therefore, we request our partners that are around and other stakeholders to come and intervene so that we forge a way forward.
According to the Water and Environment Sector Performance Report of 2018, the national safe water coverage in rural areas was estimated at 70%, a figure that further dropped to 68% by June 2020 and 2021 respectively. However, the functionality, which had stagnated at 85%, has greatly improved with the SNV's intervention of the water board model that empowers communities to take ownership of their own water sources.
What used to be a very big handicap is what we have achieved, and it is what is being said in all communities as you go there. They now know water board is a must, is what we need to get our quality water.
If you look at COVID-19, while we've had gains, it has also set us back. So again, you find that the gap in terms of access to clean water is growing, and that is what we need to look at.
Much as access to water is a right, there are also responsibilities for the users and leaders to enhance the functionality and reduce on the downtime. Ediolua, UBC News.
Thank you, Ediolwa. Now, the Ministry of Health and Uganda Nurses and Midwives Union are engaging the Ministry of Education and Sports to scrap comprehensive nursing training. The Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Diana Twine, confirmed the development, saying comprehensive nursing does not offer specialized training.
Comprehensive nursing and enrolled comprehensive nursing training programs were introduced in 1994 and 2003 respectively to create certificate and diploma cadres of nurses with competencies in general nursing, midwifery, public health, psychiatry and management. However, this might soon change as the Ministry of Health and Uganda Nurses and Midwives Union are engaging the Ministry of Education and Sports to scrap comprehensive nursing.
And call them just nursing schools, so that you just be there as a nurse or a midwife. There are two things which we need to find it very serious. Because my son cannot waste time in the school of comprehensive, and in his perception, he's reading and saying, I will be a compressor, I will be a comprehensive nurse. Here is midwife, here is a nurse. No. Because we cannot employ them anyway as compressors. So we want as a nurse, a midwife, a nurse, a midwife, full stop.
And I am glad the Nursing Council is here
Comprehensive nurses were initially thought that if they rotate all over the place, they will know everything, but they ended up being everywhere, and they are not skilled at all. They are not skilled, and that's why we are saying we must go back to the basics. We must go back. We want highly skilled nurses. The nurses know how to do things.
The permanent secretary in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Diana Atwine, was receiving mama kits, personal protective gear, and other medical devices donated to Uganda Nurses and Midwives Union by Direct Relief, an organization based in the United States of America. The mama kits and other medical devices will be distributed to various hospitals across the country. Adiana Kuti and Clement Wanjira, UBC.
Farming communities in Rakai district have a reason to smile following the introduction of a new Sitanta Irish potato variety, which is quick maturing, disease and drought resistant. The Irish potato variety has a ready market mainly in Kayabwe, Rakai district and roadside markets among others. Take a look.
This is a 10-acre new Sitanta Irish potato variety garden belonging to Patrick Tomwesije of Kayawe, Rakai district, who expects to earn over 20 million from his efforts. Tomwesije says the Sitanta Irish potato variety can potentially benefit communities as a main source food and for income because it's drought and disease resistant, quick maturing with a ready market.
I'm doing this farming in Rakai district. The reason why I would think that all farmers should engage in Irish potato farming is that when you have a garden of Irish potato, you don't expect to make so many losses as some other crops like beans or any other, because when you plant Irish potato, even if it is a bad season for you, you have to get something to sell on the market. Even if it is a bad season for you, like this season.
Tomwesije wants farmers to plant this new potato variety to earn a living and also to fight poverty in their homes.
Irish potatoes don't lose the market because the demand is always high. The hotel people need Irish potatoes. Those people who have chipsy businesses, they use Irish potato. Even people at home, they eat potatoes so much. So when you have a garden of Irish potato, it is assured that at the end of the season we have to get.
A number of farmers in Rakai district have already begun to appreciate the new Sitanta Irish potato variety.
Sente kubera nga ina ntono naye obango ina sente ezo n'okuteekamu ebigimusa ekikwanguyira emmere y'okukula obulungi n'ofunamu sente n'ofuna n'ekyokulya. Akamondi ko kanguwa nnyo kye twagalira eno mu katundu k'eno.
Ndi twagala okukalimira kaleeta mangu sente bw'okateekamu ebintu ko kaleeta mangu sente n'ofunda n'olya ina n'oba wa mulembe.
UBC News.
UBC News Tonight takes a very short break, but we return with business stories.
Grow together with one of Uganda's largest companies. Apply for MTN shares for as low as 100,000 Uganda shillings. And when you apply using MTN Mobile Money, you get 10 free extra shares for every 100 shares you apply for. Dial *165*65# or use the MyMTN app to apply now. The terms and conditions of the offer and other important information are set out in the prospectus. For assistance, visit any MTN service center or Stanbic Bank branch countrywide or a licensed broker.
It's the festive season and we love it. And that means it's time to celebrate with GoTV.
Come with me.
So get your GoCoder and GoTV value for 25,000 shillings to watch with the whole family. And if you're feeling extra festive, upgrade to our best package yet, GoTV Super.
Something to look forward to.
Download the My GoTV app for more information.
Super.
We all deserve a super festive season. And with GoTV, there's every reason to love it.
The Taxpayers Appreciation Season is here. We recognize, celebrate, and award Uganda's top taxpayers. Be part of the online Bombaya Business Summits and stand a chance to win smartphones, gift sets, hampers, and loads more. Visit our social media pages to find out more.
We appreciate you for paying your taxes. We're proud to be Ugandan. We celebrate you. Oh, we celebrate you. Taxpayers of Uganda. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. Uganda together.
Uganda Revenue Authority, developing Uganda together.
Every year, Uganda commemorates the World Fisheries Day on the 21st of November. This has been ongoing since November 1998. Uganda will be joining the rest of the world to celebrate the day to emphasize the critical important contribution of the fisheries sector to human lives, the biological biodiversity, and sustainability. This year, the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, together with other stakeholders, will celebrate the day at Negri College grounds in Gulu City on the 22nd of November, 2021. A series of activities have been planned to mark the day. The guest of honor will be the Speaker of Parliament, the Right Honorable Jacob Olanya.
Transact and win money after money with Airtel Money. 1.5 billion shillings in cash prizes up for grabs. The more you transact, the higher your chances of winning. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Raising voices.
I feel happy when my father spends time with me. I hope all fathers will like my father. I want my father to reach out to all fathers. He knows how important it is to be a good father. I promise to help my father inspire other fathers to change.
In this time of COVID, what is your promise to the children of Uganda? Because a violence-free childhood is everyone's right. Raising voices.
Welcome back from that break. We're glad that you're still watching UBC News Tonight. I'm Lauryne Kazimoto. And now into business news. A team of American investors has visited Uganda to create job opportunities and enhance development through poverty eradication programs. The investors have vowed to bring in fellow U.S. investors and other parts of the world.
It has over time come up with various initiatives aimed at helping the youths to access employment. Some of the programs and campaigns include Youth Livelihood, Entandikwa, Emyoga, and recently the Parish Development Model, among others. Besides government is funding through such programs, it has created ties with foreign countries that give an extra hand to manage unemployment. Now Uganda, through the Diaspora Affairs Committee, has received a team of investors from America, whose visit is intended to ignite different projects. Attorney Tyrone Blackburn, a businessman in the U.S., says he is to invest in agriculture and looks forward to promoting Uganda's agricultural produce to the world market.
Purpose is to invest in this country. I've had a lot of success in the United States, and I want to give back to my people. Take it in, just like Ralph said, learn about the people, learn about the opportunities.
The president of African Entertainment Awards USA, Dominic Tamin, aims at supporting, developing, and uplifting Ugandans through talent.
Entertainment is something that's very important, especially to the Ugandan community. If you look at Triplets Ghetto Kids, which are one of the biggest dance group in Africa, we give them the first opportunity to perform, and their first international award was received from our organization, and now they are the biggest dance crew in Africa. First for Ugandans, basically, just continue investing in yourself, believe in yourself, trust yourself. That's very important, you know.
Ralph Charles, the management consultant and special advisor to Senator James Sanders Jr., promised to bring more investors to help improve the livelihoods of Ugandans.
To really develop, what you want to do is you do want to have a nice spread, okay? So we will be, so it's up to you too to share and show me, if that's why we're here, is to show what opportunities is out there. But for growth, you don't want to concentrate too much into one location. By spreading it out, you'll have more growth, more opportunities, like for real estate, transportation. So there's a lot that I see here.
The Diaspora Coordinator for Trade and Investment under the Office of the President, Olivia Nantongo, disclosed that the Investment Corporation will help break the chain of unemployment through promotion of production of standard items to compete on the world market.
Talk about investing in Africa, most people think about the West Africa. They have no idea how fruitful East Africa is, and that's what I'm here to expose. East Africa to, and the people back in the United States and Europe, to open up East Africa for them, to know that East Africa is really untouched. The wealth here is untouched, and we need them to come and invest, and they're willing to come and invest. So we need to make things easy for them, make a smooth process, friendly.
Ivan Joko, weekly from Dutch, UBC News.
Now, the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development has spoken out on what is causing the current fuel price hikes. This was at a press briefing at the Uganda Media Center, where the forthcoming Energy and Mineral Week, running from the 23rd to the 26th of November 2021, was announced.
The State Minister for Energy, Sidronius Okasayo-Polot, has said the global increase in fuel price of crude oil has led to an increase in fuel prices.
We can do little as a country because the oil producers, the price of oil internationally, crude oil, has gone up. You cannot escape it. And we don't have resources to say that let's subsidize the consumers. And well, if you considered our petroleum products and their prices in the region, Uganda remains still cheap in these oil products.
Despite the increase of fuel prices at most petrol stations, fuel is still being sold below the set reserve price by government, retaining competitiveness within the sector.
The other thing that is monitored by the government is to make sure that there is no shortage in the country. Now, we as government set what we call a reserve price. Reserve price is to ensure that our players do not overcharge you at the pump. As we speak, no one has exceeded the reserve price that we set as a country.
The forthcoming Energy Week, running from the 23rd to the 26th of November this year, is expected to address and showcase awareness initiatives with the public with an aim to propagate ideas for sector growth. Wadulo Mccarran, UBC News in Kampala.
The Ministry of Education and Sports has inaugurated the 5th edition of the Industrial Training Council of the Directorate of Industrial Training. The Director, Basic and Secondary Educational, Ishmael Mulindwa, officiated the event and asked the new council to promote employable skills.
Or review any matter, any person, and that I will observe, support, and uphold.
The policy-making organ of the Directorate of Industrial Training has been inaugurated and is to be chaired by Dr. Ruth Musokebi Nzika, who replaces Dr. Joseph Muvawala-Nsekere. The 14-member Industrial Training Council with Patrick Byakatonda as its secretary was sworn in by the Nakawa Chief Magistrate Dr. Douglas Sizinga.
The mandate of these institutions are so distinct, and people should not try to confuse them. They are very distinct. There is a reason why during 1971, through a decree, you had DIT and a directorate under the ministry. The issue was skills for industry. I want DIC and all of you who are taking over to know that you are too big to fight small battles. You certify for the world of, regardless of where they are trained. So why should you fight for training?
The Minister of State for Higher Education, Dr. John Chrysostom Muingo, was represented by the Director Basic and Secondary Education, Ismail Mulindwa, who tasked the Council to help developing requisite skills for the job market.
The Directorate has the key to competence-based education and training, which is a paradigm shift required in education and training. I urge you all to propel skills training forward with outcomes required in the world of work.
The incoming chairperson Industrial Training Council, Dr. Ruth V. Nzika-Musoke, pledged total commitment towards promoting skilling Uganda programs.
I want to assure you that the Council is going to take these assignments with diligence, dedication, and we will execute with high levels of integrity. That is extremely very key for us. Allow me to thank the outgoing Council.
The Council will, among others, advise the Minister of Education and Sports on policy issues and new trends in skills development.
In addition, I wish to thank in a special way the Chairperson of Industrial Training Council for his personal guidance on the management drive of the Directorate and being approachable at any time.
Grow together with one of Uganda's largest companies. Apply for MTN shares for as low as 100,000 Uganda shillings. And when you apply using MTN Mobile Money, you get 10 free extra shares for every 100 shares you apply for. Dial *165*65# or use the MyMTN app to apply now. The terms and conditions of the offer and other important information are set out in the prospectus. For assistance, visit any MTN service center or Stanbic Bank branch countrywide or a licensed broker.
And now on to sports. The second quarter of Uganda Baseball and Softball Association's regional series has climaxed. Final action was at the Stanley AV School in Nakirebe. Details follow.
After almost a week of action at the baseball complex in Gayaza and at the Stanley AVRS School in Nakirebe, the second quarter of the baseball regional series has climaxed. This quarter had Northern Region travel to Central and played against Central Region and the elite Dodgers Academy. They played 9 games, winning twice and drawing once, with all others lost, but to them, the lessons outlast anything.
What we have learned from this is that for us, we only know how to hit balls, but fielding is like some problem we have there.
The first win we got when we first played, and it was very motivating to the players, and I hope when we go back we shall continue doing the same.
The elite Dodgers Academy has played well in the first and second quarters with excellent displays from, among others, pitcher Nicholas Alumai.
It's going to come, hit the ball hard and win the game. We just play to win and we play hard.
The Elite Dodgers Academy is one of the best franchises in Uganda, and opinion from their technical staff is never underestimated.
Yeah, what I can say is I've seen a lot of talent coming up from the Central, North, Eastern and the Dodgers camp. All these boys have come out and showcased their talent, and I believe by the time we head out to play with Kenya, our friendly, we are going to show Kenya what we have in Uganda.
The Uganda Baseball and Softball Association regional series of 4 teams, Northern, Central, Eastern and the Elite Dodgers Academy.
For the start of the game, yes, I believe our team right now is on table and the win is not a surprise to us.
Well, thank you so much for your company this evening. UBC News Tonight has come to an end. But before we close down, let's first take another look at tonight's headlines. Headlines: Nabanja assures the public of reduced electricity tariffs. UPDF hints on accessing ADF hideouts. Soroti Hospital doctors puzzled by a rise in fistula cases. And new penicillin clinical trials can slow down painful heart disease, experts say. Thank you so much for your company this evening. I'm Lauryne Kazimoto, wishing you a lovely night. We'll leave you with Lauryne Kazimoto with our weather forecast for tomorrow. Good night.
It's the festive season and we love it. And that means it's time to celebrate with GoTV.
Come with me.
So get your GoCoder and GoTV value for 25,000 shillings to watch with the whole family. And if you're feeling extra festive, upgrade to our best package yet, GoTV Super.
Something to look forward to.
Download the My GoTV app for more information.
Super.
We all deserve a super festive season. And with GoTV, there's every reason to love it.